Let's be honest. You've been fed a lie about earning respect. You've been told to be agreeable, to play nice, to work harder for everyone else, and to twist yourself into a pretzel hoping that other people will find you pleasing. I did that for years, and it only made people respect me less. Here's the truth. The respect you're looking for doesn't come from them. It comes from you. The ancient Stoics knew this. They taught that real respect isn't won by what you do for others, but by how you transform your own mind. And today, I'm going to show you the exact mindset shift that makes earning respect an automatic side effect of who you are. Ever feel like you're doing everything right, but the respect you deserve is always just out of reach? You're good at what you do. You're kind. You go the extra mile. And yet, you feel invisible. Your voice gets drowned out in meetings. Your boundaries are treated more like suggestions. You catch yourself constantly explaining your decisions, just hoping you can win the approval you feel you've earned. This is the exhausting treadmill of chasing external validation, and it's a game that's rigged against you. The more you chase approval, the faster it runs away. Why? Because neediness is the opposite of respect. When you place your self-worth in other people's hands, you give them all the power. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus would say, you become a slave to anyone who can give you a compliment or a criticism. You turn into a performer, changing your mask for every audience, and in the process, you forget what your own face even looks like. The Stoics give us a radical alternative. They teach that respect isn't something you demand or chase. It's something you attract by how you carry yourself, how you live, and how you respond to whatever life throws at you. The world is a mirror. It reflects back the opinion you have of yourself. If you move through life with a sense of apology and uncertainty, the world will treat you like someone who should be sorry. But if you build an inner fortress of self-respect, the world has no choice but to deal with the person living inside it. This isn't about being arrogant or aggressive. It's about a quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from deep internal work. It's about shifting your entire operating system from one that begs for external approval to one that generates its own. Today, we're going deeper than just habits. We're going to rebuild your mindset from the ground up with 5 powerful Stoic shifts that will force the world to respect you, because you will have finally, truly learned to respect yourself. Number 1. From seeking approval to seeking self-approval. The first and most important shift is to stop begging for validation scraps and start preparing a feast for yourself. We live in a society that's turned approval into a currency. We perform for likes, tweak our personalities for social events, and measure our worth by the sound of applause. The Stoics knew this was a trap. As Seneca warned, the crowd is ruled by impulse, not wisdom. When you base your life on other people's opinions, you're building your house on shifting sand. You become a chameleon, changing colors to blend in, but a chameleon has no color of its own. This constant need for validation makes you weak. It makes you predictable. People learn, whether they realize it or not, that your emotional state is easy to manipulate. A kind word sends you soaring. A critical one sends you crashing. You're emotionally vulnerable. They know that to control you, all they have to do is threaten to withdraw their approval. That's not a position of strength. That's not how you command respect. The Stoic mindset flips this on its head. The goal isn't to be liked. The goal is to be aligned with your own values. For a Stoic, the real prize isn't fame, wealth, or what others think. It's virtue. It's living a life of wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. Your focus shifts from, "What will they think of me?" to, "Is this action a true expression of who I want to be?" This is the core of self-respect. It's the quiet act of keeping a promise to yourself, even when no one is watching. It's choosing the hard path of integrity over the easy path of social comfort. When you seek self-approval, you become the author of your own story. You hold the pen. Others can read it, and they can have their opinions, but they can't dictate the plot anymore. This doesn't mean you ignore all feedback. It means you are the filter. You listen and consider, but you are the final judge of your own worth. You might ask, is this criticism useful? Is there a piece of truth here that can help me grow? But you no longer let it define you. Think about the people you truly respect. Are they constantly asking if you like them? Or do they move with a quiet confidence, grounded in their own principles, unshaken by the judgment of others? They've stopped looking for applause and started living for alignment. This creates a kind of gravity. People are drawn to those who have a strong center, who know who they are. When you stop trying to please everyone, you might lose some superficial fans, but you gain something far more powerful, your own respect. And when you have that, the respect of others is just a nice bonus, not a desperate need. Number 2, from explaining to owning your decisions. The second shift is a powerful change in how you communicate. Stop explaining yourself and start owning your decisions. How many times have you said no, only to follow it up with a long, rambling paragraph of excuses? You say, I can't make it to the party because my cousin is in town and I promised to help him, plus I've been feeling a little run down. You think you're being polite, but you're actually communicating, I don't trust my own decision. I need you to agree with my reasons so that my no is okay. Over-explaining is a sign of a deep fear of disapproval. It's a subtle way of asking for permission to have your own priorities. When you over-explain, you're sending a message that you don't trust your own judgment. You project uncertainty. This just invites people to question you, to poke holes in your story, and to pressure you to change your mind. It makes them the judge and you the defendant, pleading your case. Respect can't grow in that courtroom. The Stoic approach embraces clarity and conviction. A person of integrity doesn't need to justify living by their values. Their actions speak for themselves. When you make a decision, state it simply, calmly, and without apology. Instead of that long, rambling excuse, your response becomes a polite but firm, "Thanks so much for the invitation, but I won't be able to make it." Feel that shift in power. There's no opening for a debate, no room for negotiation. It's a statement of fact, delivered with quiet confidence. This isn't about being rude, it's about respecting yourself enough to believe your decisions are valid without needing someone else to sign off on them. Speaking deliberately, rather than to impress or appease, carries a natural authority. True power doesn't need to shout. It's the quiet confidence of knowing your own mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations not to explain himself to the world, but to clarify his own thoughts to himself. Your reasons and your priorities are your own sacred ground. You don't need a no trespassing sign, you just need to embody the quiet strength of someone who owns the territory. Start small. The next time you decline a request, state your decision and then just stop talking. Feel that awkward silence and learn to be comfortable in it. That silence is where respect starts to grow. People will learn that your yes is a real commitment and your no is a firm boundary. They'll stop seeing your decisions as debatable and start seeing your word as final. They'll respect your choices because it's obvious that you do first. Number 3. From reacting emotionally to responding logically. The third shift is all about reclaiming your power by moving from emotional reaction to logical response. Imagine this: someone cuts you off in traffic. The reactive person lays on the horn, yells, and carries that anger for the next hour. Their peace of mind is stolen by a total stranger. Or, in a meeting, a colleague makes a passive-aggressive comment about your work. The reactive person gets defensive, their voice gets tight, and they spend the rest of the day fuming over the insult. In both cases, who's in control? Not you. You've handed the keys to your inner peace to someone else. The Stoics taught that real power isn't about controlling events, but controlling our response to them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." People who are easily provoked are seen as weak. Their emotional strings are visible for anyone to pull. But a person who can stay calm under pressure projects an aura of unshakable strength. They command respect precisely because they can't be easily thrown off their game. This is not about suppressing your emotions and becoming a robot. It's about observing your emotions instead of letting them hijack you. When something happens, an insult, a setback, a frustration, the practice is to create a pause. In that small gap, you notice the initial spark of anger or fear. You see it for what it is, a first impression, an automatic judgment. But you don't have to obey it. You can step back and ask logical questions. Is this person's opinion actually a threat to me? Does getting angry solve this? What's the most rational, effective way to handle this? This self-mastery is what commands respect. When others see you handle a crisis with a steady hand or absorb a criticism without flinching, they recognize a rare quality. They see someone who isn't a slave to their impulses. They see someone grounded, reliable, and in control of the one thing that truly matters, themselves. When you embrace this mindset, you stop taking things so personally. You start to see that most people's actions are a reflection of their own issues, not a judgment on your worth. The person who insulted you is probably dealing with their own insecurity. The driver who cut you off is likely lost in their own stress. Their behavior is about them. Your response, however, is all about you. When you refuse to get pulled into their drama, you not only gain their respect, but you reinforce your own. You're building what the Stoics called an inner citadel, a fortress inside your mind that no external chaos can break through. People respect the fortress. They may not get how you stay so calm, but they sense it's a strength you've earned. And they'll think twice before trying to storm the walls of someone who so clearly rules their own kingdom. Number 4. From valuing opinions to valuing your time. This fourth shift requires you to reevaluate your most precious asset. You have to stop valuing the fleeting opinions of others and start fiercely valuing your time. Think of your time not as an infinite river, but as a finite pile of gold. Every minute you spend on something is a piece of gold you never get back. Now, ask yourself, how much of your gold are you spending on things that don't serve your purpose? How much time gets wasted in pointless meetings, scrolling social media for a validation hit, or engaging in gossip just to feel like part of the group? People who don't value their time teach the world that their time isn't valuable. If you're always available, instantly reply to every message and say yes to every request without a second thought, you are subconsciously telling people that you have nothing more important to do. You're communicating that your own goals and your own peace come second to their demands. That is a recipe for being taken for granted, not for being respected. The Stoic mindset treats time with reverence. The Stoics knew our time here is short and uncertain. Seneca was constantly writing about the brevity of life, urging us not to waste our days on trivial nonsense. A person who values their time is a person of purpose. They are deliberate. They know what's important to them, and they guard their time accordingly. Guarding your time is one of the most powerful statements of self-respect you can make. It tells the world that you are on a mission and you're the one holding the compass. This doesn't mean you become a hermit or start rudely dismissing people. It means you become a conscious investor of your time. Before you commit, you ask, does this align with my values? Does this move me closer to my goals? Is this truly the best use of this irreplaceable piece of my life? You learn the art of the polite but firm no. You set boundaries around your work, your projects, and your need for rest and focus. At first, this might feel weird. People who are used to having 24/7 access to you might be surprised, even a little annoyed. But soon, they'll get it. They will learn that your time is a valuable commodity. They will learn that when you do give them your time, it's a genuine gift, and they'll start to treat it with more respect. They'll see that you're getting the best of you, not just the leftovers. People respect those who value their own time because it signals discipline and self-worth. It shows you have a life you're actively building, not one you're just passively reacting to. When you become the gatekeeper of your time, you stop being a side character in other people's stories and finally become the main character in your own. Number 5. From fearing disrespect to welcoming it as a test. The final and most profound shift is to completely change your relationship with disrespect itself. You must move from fearing it and being wounded by it to welcoming it as an opportunity, a test of your character. For most of us, the fear of being disrespected is a huge motivator. It causes us to be overly agreeable, to bite our tongues, and to avoid conflict at all costs. The potential sting of an insult is so great that we'd rather shrink ourselves to avoid it. This fear makes us fragile. The Stoic mindset offers a liberating alternative. What if disrespect from others had no power over you at all? What if you could see an insult not as an attack on your worth, but just as information about the other person's character? Epictetus famously said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." In other words, nothing is insulting unless you choose to feel insulted. This is the ultimate inner transformation. When someone disrespects you, the Stoic-minded person doesn't see it as a reflection of their value. They see it as a test, an opportunity to practice the virtues they've been building. Can I remain calm right now? Temperance. Can I respond with fairness instead of anger? Justice. Can I stand firm in my values without needing this person's approval? Courage. Can I see the situation for what it is without my ego getting in the way? Wisdom. Suddenly, an act of disrespect is no longer a wound. It's a workout. It's a chance to make your inner citadel even stronger. Marcus Aurelius used to start his day by thinking about all the annoying, arrogant, and dishonest people he was going to meet. By expecting it, he wasn't harmed by it when it happened. He saw it as just part of the human landscape, a storm that couldn't touch the core of his being. When you adopt this mindset, you become free. You're no longer afraid. You can speak your truth without fearing the fallout, because you know that no one's reaction can touch your self-respect. You can make unpopular decisions. You can walk away from situations that are beneath you without needing the last word. Your dignity speaks for itself. This is the source of unshakable respect. People are drawn to those who cannot be easily shaken. When they see that their insults and their judgments have no effect on your inner calm, they're faced with a power they don't understand. It's the power of someone who has placed their self-worth so deep inside themselves that no external force can reach it. They may not like you, they may even disagree with you, but they will have no choice but to respect you. You've stopped playing their game of external validation and have started winning the only game that matters, the inner game of self-mastery. The path to earning respect isn't an outward campaign to win people over. It's an inward journey to build a character so strong that the world can't help but reflect that strength back to you. It begins when you decide to seek approval from yourself, not the crowd. It grows when you own your decisions without apology and respond to life with logic, not just raw emotion. It solidifies when you treat your time like the treasure it is, and it becomes invincible when you learn to see disrespect not as an attack, but as a test of your strength. These 5 shifts aren't easy. They are a daily practice. They require you to choose your principles over your comfort again and again. But the reward is a freedom that few people ever find. The freedom from the tyranny of other people's opinions. So stop chasing respect. Stop performing. Start building. Build your character. Build your inner citadel. Build a foundation of self-respect so solid that it creates its own gravity. The respect you want will follow, not because you demanded it, but because you finally became worthy of it. If you're ready to stop chasing approval and start building an unshakable mindset, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom and let me know in the comments, which of these 5 shifts are you going to start with today?